Well, folks, you know that David Icke has a new book out, and you know that Jay and I have been going through that book, but we have been distracted with other great podcast excellence subjects. So I want to get back to the David Icke book. And since we kind of got off, I'm just going to go back and start from the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, so we can talk about the David Icke book, everything you need to know, but have never been told. And I am wearing the nice Swanwick, I guess, I don't know if they're EMF or whatever, but radiation blue blocking glasses that were so graciously given to me by my partner in crime, Jay Campbell. So thank you so much for those, Jay. And you will be seeing me wearing them because they do a tremendous job at helping my eyes absorb the much exposure that I get to, obviously, the computer on a regular daily basis. So we're going to talk about the Icke book today. We're going to go through the introduction. And hello, Lou. We're going to go through the introduction, and we're going to, I think, be teed up for some great understanding and some great learning. And if you missed the Last Stand last night with Robert Stanley, I encourage you to go back and listen to that. Fantastic program. Robert Stanley, always a brilliant individual. Very glad to have him on. This coming Sunday night, we'll have a special edition of The Last Stand with Rocky Stucci. That's right, the emotional meatball, Rocky Stucci on The Last Stand. So this, of course, is the book, and that's my pen holding my place. Everything you need to know, but have never been told, by David Icke. I'm about that far into it, so it's a big read. It's over 700 pages. But we're going to get to this, and we're going to look at this, and we're going to learn from this, and we're going to experience, I think, some enlightenment through this book. And I just want to go back and start at the beginning of the introduction, which is where I started today to reread it. And what we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess I should do this just in case, because I don't think Mr. Icke would be offended, but there are people that may be in Mr. Icke's orbit that might be offended. So let me just make sure that we do this the right way and I don't get myself into any trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me just 1 second. I need to pull something up here so we can do the disclaimer for for fair use. So let's go ahead and do that and get that out of the way so we can get rolling, because we don't want the channel to get a bad mark again and be on the bad boy list and not able to broadcast live for, oh my, months. Come on now. Here we go. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, but we got to do things right, and we got to be careful. So what we're going to be doing today is, as soon as this comes up, a federal law. Oh, isn't this something, how things happen when you're trying to do something good? Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, which we're doing, news reporting, which we're doing, teaching, which we're doing, and parody, which we won't be doing. And it doesn't infringe under copyright 17 USC 107. So sorry to put you through that, but it is one of those things that we've got to do to make sure that we do everything decently and in order and don't get ourselves in trouble. So let's go ahead now and start talking about the Icke book. And he makes a great point that we are living today in what is called a collective madness, which is called normality. Normality today that we live in, ladies and gentlemen, normality is a collective madness. They want us to believe that it's normal. They want us to believe it's regular. But what is defined by this world today as normal is a collective madness. David Icke is 100% correct on that. The comatose believe that they are wide awake. There's none so enslaved as those who wrongly believe they are free, and none so crazy as those who wrongly believe they are sane. That's the world we live in, the upside down, the inverse. What this world calls sane, ladies and gentlemen, is crazy. What this world calls crazy, ladies and gentlemen, is sane. And this is why I mentioned David Icke on Coast to Coast, and why Jay and I have done David Icke's book a couple of times. And I'm so glad that Mr. Icke featured some of our videos on his website, and we're going to have him on this channel. I'm believing that sooner rather than later, because he is, as someone just said in the chat room, a great dot connector. And he is connecting dots. But folks, you have to realize that when you feel crazy, you're right where you need to be. And if you start feeling sane, then get worried, because this world is nutso. If the world thinks you're sane, then you're crazy. If the world thinks you're crazy, then you're sane. That's why I don't worry about Lou, because I know that everybody thinks she's crazy. So I know that she's probably pretty well off. I met Lou out in the desert, and it was a pleasure to do so. And Ike goes on and he says that collective society has decreed sanity to be a certain thing. And it's that collective society, those who control, influence, and police opinion, that manipulates the norms that they decree as sanity. So in a very literal sense, ladies and gentlemen, the inmates are running the asylum. The inmates are running the asylum, and the only sane people are the ones that they're trying to pump drugs in, the ones they're trying to tie down, the ones they're trying to get to conform. We're the sane people, and the controllers of this asylum are the crazy people. So don't get worried. I get emails and messages almost every day. Jeff, I feel so bad. I feel crazy. You should feel crazy. If you feel sane in this world, I'd be worried about you, cousin. But since you're not feeling crazy, then I will be. My David Icke sigil is still on my whiteboard. Absolutely, Roger Rabbit. Absolutely, Roger Rabbit. Okay. Now, let's don't overshare in the chat room about trying to be committed and stuff. Don't overshare. All righty, let's move on to the next great point that Icke makes. He says that humble and wise enough are the people that realize that humanity knows almost incomprehensibly small fraction of what there is to know, and whose minds are open at all times to possibility. I'm not on this channel because I think I know it all. I'm on this channel because I know that I don't even have an infinitesimal grasp on the all. You're not listening to this channel because you think you know it all. We're not in the conspiratorium. We're not in the new thought. We're not in this aware community because we think we know it all. We're here because we know we don't. We're here because we know that we don't know. It's like Scotty Roberts says, and this is PG-13. Scotty says, the more shit I know, the more I realize I don't know shit. And he's right. That's why we're here, because we don't know. That's why we're here, because we're open. And as David Icke goes on to say, the people that are really smart and the people that are really going to make a difference are the people whose minds are open at all times to all possibility. And this is where some of you truthers fall short. Planet Earth, pardon me. This is where some of you truthers fall short. This is where some of you New Agers fall short, is you don't want to stay open to all possibilities all the time. You want to make hard and fast statements regarding certain subjects and thereby shut your mind's ability down to consider other subjects. Do you know that the more things that you say in your mind, oh, there's no way that could possibly be true. Thank you, soul foolish girl. I love you loving my channel. Do you know that when you are so sure about things, it harms your plasticity or elasticity of mind? The really smart, the really enlightened people are able to hold ideas in their mind simultaneously that are contradictory. So you shouldn't be so convinced the earth is flat that you can't also consider that it might be round. And conversely, you shouldn't be so convinced that it's round that it might not be flat, because it helps you to entertain and understand the perspective of the people that think it's flat. And it helps you to understand the perspective of the people that think it's round, regardless of what your personal belief is. And it's that about everything. Magenta Pixie, my good friend Magenta Pixie, talks about this in her books, maintaining mental plasticity, maintaining the ability to maintain and hold varying opinions in your mind simultaneously. That doesn't mean you're wishy-washy. That means you're really smart. And I'm going to remove your comment. Don't go down that road or I'll block you. And you know who you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why David Icke talks about removing your filters. And in fact, it's on the, I think it's on the beginning of this. It says something about your filters are your perception is your filters. Oh, here it is. Your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. Isaac Asimov said that. Very, very powerful stuff. Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher, said, care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Ooh, if you care about people's approval, you will be their prisoner. But I still wish that you'd hit the like button on this video so more people can see it. Do we really care about people's approval? Folks, my give a damn busted a while ago. And it's not that I don't care about you. It's not that I don't love you. It's just that I don't give a damn what you think, one way or the other. I don't need your approval. I don't even want your approval. All I'm doing is putting out information. Okay, goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye. Tracy Dyer must not be here today. Oh my, we got the trolls are strong here, and that's okay because I'm stronger. I'm ready for y'all. I'm ready for y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready for y'all. Tracy is here. Oh my, the problem is I can't see the yellow highlighter with these yellow glasses on. Powerful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And David Icke talked with a psychic named Betty Shine, and she gave him some really good information. And this is where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen. One man cannot change the world, but one man can communicate the message that will change the world. One man can't change the world. One channel can't change the world. But we can communicate the message that will change the world. I can communicate the message that will change the world. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm practicing. And that's why I ride such close herd on my chat. If you're in my chat room and you are being a distraction, if you're in my chat room and you're calling attention to yourself, if you're in my chat room and you're spamming in the least bit, then you're going to get your comment removed. What's his name? Slightly slanted, whatever he is for whatever he is, found out last night. You can't be rude. You can't draw attention to yourself, and you can't be a distraction. This is too important for you to be screwing around in the chat room, and I simply won't allow it. And if you think that is censorship and you don't like it, then please go watch someone else, because it ain't changing. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is a dictatorship. This channel is a dictatorship, and I'm the dictator. And like Tracy said, you can't whine. In the best of times, it's a benevolent dictatorship. If you get me ticked off, it's just a dictatorship. And here's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Gladys Janae Jones. This is how you do it. Jeff doesn't let anybody say anything he doesn't agree with. That's not true. Gladys says, I believe the earth is flat. Oh, somebody just took her message out, Tracy. She said, I believe the earth is flat as far as you see it. But then she went on to talk about something else. But see, that's the way to do it. I would have left that one, but that's okay. That's the way to do it. Gladys was she wasn't being rude. She wasn't drawing attention to herself. And she was commenting on something that I opened up the can of worms on. So we'll let that one stand next time. So, and then, but see, T.L. Clark is, he's walking the line. The only reason T.L. Clark doesn't get this comment removed because I know T.L. He says Earth is flat. Don't just drop random. Jama got him as I'm speaking. Don't just drop random stuff like that. Don't just drop random scriptures. Have something to say. And like Marguerite says, I do not agree, and you all love me. I know. Absolutely. That's the way it is. Free MPG says that they believe flat Earth is a psyop to waste brain power. Maybe it is. But that's what we want to do. We want to be kind. We want to be considerate. And now let's get back on track because we're not talking about flat Earth. And it's my fault for bringing that up. One man can't change the world, but one man can tick off the flat earthers just like that. One man can't change the world. One channel can't change the world, but we can bring out the message that will change the world, ladies and gentlemen. And David Icke says, don't try to do it all alone. Go hand in hand with others so you can pick up each other as you fall. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're going at this together. There's almost 32,000 of us now, and we get stronger every single day. We get stronger every single day, and that is great, and that is powerful. And we're here to help each other up. We're here to lift each other up. We're here to help each other out. And that's the end of the flat Earth discussion in the chat room. Boom, done. No more, or it will be removed. Okay. Arduous seeking is not necessary. This isn't hard work, ladies and gentlemen. Arduous seeking is not necessary. The path is already mapped out. You only have to follow the clues. We're guiding you along a set path. That's what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen. That is what I am doing. David Icke is still alive because he's protected. David Icke is still alive because he's a protected individual. I think as Robert Stanley was talking last night, the benevolent ETs, the benevolent spiritual forces that intervene in our reality, they're keeping David Icke alive. I think David Icke might be the most important person on the planet right now. And I think he's being kept alive and he's being protected by forces greater than the forces that want to do him harm. Somebody said to me, oh, David Icke is a shill, David Icke is a fake, because David Icke lives this far from the Queen. Said he lives in the same town as the Queen. He really doesn't live in the same town as the Queen, but he lives in the same country. So I understand people aren't that good at geography, so I'm trying to be inclusive and I'm trying to be nice. This is me trying to be nice. But they said, how could David Icke be real if he lives in the same city as the Queen and says she's a reptilian and he's still alive? Well, David Icke doesn't live in the same city as the Queen. He lives in the same country as the Queen. And he does say things about the Queen that are true. And the reason why he's still alive is because he's protected by forces more powerful than the Queen. And let's face it. And this is a VM, that's a perfect way to get your ass banned from the chat, just like that. Do not insult my guests or my future guests. And David Icke is indeed protected. And plus, I think killing David Icke would just cause way too much problems and way too many questions. So, David Icke, if you're listening, or if some of your cadre of support workers is listening, I say you're alive because you're protected, and that's not proof that you're a shield. It's proof of the opposite. And all we're trying to do is guide you along a set path. That's all I'm trying to do. And I take guidance from some of the giants like Mr. Icke, who have spent more years than I have leading us down this trail and showing us where we need to go. And here's the big thing, ladies and gentlemen. This comes at the very end of the introduction of David Icke's new book, Everything You Need to Know But Have Never Been Told. He says these words: you cannot be stopped unless you stop yourself. If you come to this channel, you cannot help but be awakened unless you keep yourself asleep. If you come to this channel, you can't help but know the truth about the fear and guilt control matrix unless you refuse to know it. Only you, ladies and gentlemen, can keep yourself asleep. You have the power over your life, and you simply have to take it back from those you think have the power. You have the power in your life. And all you have to do is take back the power from those you think have the power. They don't even really have it. They don't even really have it. You've let them think they have it. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey says, knowledge seeker, yes. What a great truth brought to us from Mr. Icke. The human power, no power dynamic is just a confidence trick, a con game, a mind game. And we need to see through the illusion that humanity believes to be so real. If you refuse to give up, refuse to feel sorry for yourself and run away, you will get somewhere. Some of you have problems with some of these areas. Some of you feel sorry for yourself, just like the people that get their feelings hurt because somebody said something bad about the flat earth. You feel sorry for yourself. Just like the people that get their feelings hurt because they can't be the star in the chat room. Just like the people that get their feelings hurt because they can't distract and they can't be rude. Oh, I'm being censored. No, you're being spanked because you're a stupid little kid. That's why. And it's those kind of people, ladies and gentlemen, that are going to have a hard time taking their power back, getting over the mind game, because they're feeling sorry for themselves. They have the victim mentality. If you refuse to give up, and if you don't give a damn, you got a chance. You got a chance. Oh, that's right, unsophisticated. I'm sorry. I'm a little hyped up the last couple of days, but you know, thin skin just don't work. You can't be a delicate flower and hang out around here. You just can't. And that's a great little podcast there. And that's only the introduction of this great book by David Icke, Everything You Need to Know But Have Never Been Told. And I'm going to go through this book so we can glean the truth out of it. And pretty soon, I think we'll have Mr. Icke on himself to talk about the book. I'm going to do everything I can to get the consequential rapscallions back this week. We've got Rocky Stucci with a special segment of The Last Stand on Sunday night. I have a show coming up with Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch. I'm going to be on the Power Hour radio show. I think Beyond the Night radio show. We got Laura Eisenhower coming up on the channel. Lots of great stuff happening. Lots of powerful stuff happening. And we're just getting started. I think 2019 is going to be a great year. It's going to be the best year ever. And I think it's going to be a powerful year for all of us that believe that it's going to be a powerful year. So I encourage you to get the David Icke book, and I encourage you to be back and watch as we go through it. And as we take a look and learn and glean from this great book and from all the other great work that we do here on this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go back and take a look at all the great podcasts. Excellent. We've been plowing along, and we'll be back today with yet more podcast excellence. Limitless Love says it has indeed already been a great year. I agree. We're only 8 days in. And can we just say happy birthday to the departed Elvis Aaron Presley. Let's remember the king on his birthday. This was the birth date of Elvis Aaron Presley. Tragic story, but yet I think in the end, possibly a victorious story. I did do some podcasts on Elvis and Paul McCartney being MK Ultra. It's under Assault on Aquarius if you want to look those up. So happy birthday, Elvis. And happy birthday to the rest of you. And of course, I have to say it, happy birthday, Elvis. And to the rest of you, I say thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Thank you for being here. It's time for us to stop being unsophisticated. It's time to get unindoctrinated, guide our own spirit, master our own ascension, be our own guru. We really are. Fact Finder says, don't tell anybody Elvis is drinking beer in his garage. We are the last generation, ladies and gentlemen, of real humans. Let's get unindoctrinated and let's get busy.